Hi, welcome to USU. We're glad you've chosen to explore psychology as your major. Psychology is a great field to go into, and it's so useful in so many occupations and situations. Because we can't meet with you in person right now, we've prepared an introduction to the psychology advisors and the department and some of the many options that you have within psychology. We hope that this will be useful to you as you're transitioning into USU. So just to introduce myself, I'm Becca. I'm one of the psychology advisors. I generally work with students whose last names start with A through C. My bachelor's degree is in psychology. I did graduate from USU. And after earning my bachelor's degree, I decided to continue my education and earn a master's degree in psychology, specifically in the field of school counseling. I really enjoy working with all the students in our department. I've been an advisor in psychology for the last 8 years. And I can't wait to get to know all of you as you start your journey here at USU.
Hi, my name is Ben. I typically work with students, psychology students whose last names start with the letters D through M. My academic background is I have a bachelor's degree in business and then a master's degree in instructional leadership with an emphasis in higher education and student affairs. Professionally, I've worked for the university for about the last 7 years, with the last 3 of those as an academic advisor. I previously worked for the business school, and I'm excited to now be a part of the psychology advising team.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm one of the psychology advisors as well. I work with students whose last names begin with N through Z. I actually graduated from the same USU psychology department program a few years ago with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology and minors in both sociology and Spanish. I earned my master's degree through USU also in the Instructional Technology and Learning Sciences department. I've been an Aggie for a long time, probably before you were born. I've been a psychology advisor for over 20 years now. I love this department, I love this college, and I hope that you will too. As a psychology major, you're also joining one of the premier colleges here at USU. The Emma Eccles Jones College of Education and Human Services, CEHS for short, has been described as the crown jewel of Utah State University. Our graduate programs are ranked number 1 in all of Utah and number 29 in the whole nation, according to U.S. News and World Reports. Why? Well, each of the departments and facilities that make up this college are exemplary. Other departments in our college include communicative disorders, human development and family studies, instructional technology and learning sciences, kinesiology and health science, nursing and health professions, teacher education and leadership, special education and rehabilitation, and of course, the reason you are here, psychology. In addition to these departments, CEHS also provides services and education to community members through a child development lab school, a technology center, the Center for Persons with Disabilities, the Edith Bowen Lab School, the EEJ Early Childhood Education and Research Center, a literacy clinic, the National Center for Hearing Assessment and Management, and the Sorensen Center for Clinical Excellence. This center brings medical, counseling, movement, hearing, and other clinics together in one clinical location, allowing those in need the convenience of a type of one-stop experience to address their needs. These centers, clinics, and schools provide an ideal learning experience for our students as well.
So let's talk psychology. What is it and what brings you to it? Technically, psychology is the scientific study of the human mind and its functions, especially those affecting behavior in any given context. It's a great starting point. The psychology studies behavior of humans and animals and the physiological and non-tangible reasons that we and even our furry friends or feathered friends do what we do, think what we think, and how we interact with the world around us. So let's just take a minute and contemplate what brings you to psychology. What's your passion? Psychology is such a broad field. Let's explore the tip of the iceberg together today.
One buzzword you've probably heard these days is mindfulness. Do you know what it means or what it can do for you? One definition is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations, used as a therapeutic technique. So really centering yourself and focusing on the present and all that it contains. Take a look at this picture and see for yourself which one of these two subjects is using mindfulness in the moment. So, why would you want to study this area? The Harvard Health Guide gives us just some of the benefits. It helps to relieve stress, treat heart disease, lower blood pressure, reduce chronic pain, improve sleep, alleviate gastrointestinal difficulties, depression, substance abuse, eating disorders, couples conflicts, anxiety disorders, and obsessive compulsive disorder. And it can even improve your sense of well-being. You can see why this area in psychology is gaining a lot of popularity in professional applications, as well as by anyone who just wants to improve their life. It has so many different benefits that each of us could use. We have faculty here at USU studying this very theme. In fact, Dr. Michael Levin, he has developed an app named the ACT Guide, and it's available for free to all USU students. And if you're not a USU student, you can still have access to this app, but it costs $10 instead of being free. We will make sure to include a link after the presentation to a website where you can get onto the ACT Guide and download it for free and look at some of the benefits that they've proven with it. But I think this is an app that you will really enjoy. So far, I've heard very positive feedback from all of our students who have taken advantage of using this app.
Let's change our focus to another area of psychology, counseling. RichardsOnTheBrain.com describes counseling psychology as a field that aims to improve everyday functioning by helping people cope more effectively with challenging situations and solving problems in daily living. Let's dive a little deeper and talk about fears and phobias. There are so many different classifications that they're hard to keep straight. Here are the top 10 most common fears: agoraphobia, acrophobia, pteromerhanophobia, claustrophobia, entomophobia, ophidophobia, cynophobia, astrophobia, trypanophobia, and social phobias. How familiar are you with these words? Make a quick list on a piece of paper, 1 to 10, and write down what you think each of these words demonstrate a fear of. Pause this presentation for a minute and then restart once you've written down your guesses. Someone suffering from agoraphobia has a fear of open spaces. Some people will avoid public places and/or certain locations. Number 2, acrophobia. The fear of heights is very common. Sometimes this is one that can make your head spin looking out of a tall building or hiking on a high trail. Number 3, and this one's a tough one to sound out, pteromerhanophobia. It sounds like the fear of pterodactyls, right? It's not quite that. It's actually the fear of flying. But did you know that you're more likely to be struck by lightning than die in a plane crash? Number 4, claustrophobia, the fear of enclosed spaces. Some theories suggest that there's a genetic link to certain phobias. Maybe these fears helped us to keep our ancestors safe. Maybe there's a protective quality to the beginning of these fears or a catalyst to starting the fear. Entomophobia, fear of insects. I certainly don't love insects, Perhaps this is one of those fears that has developed over time to be a protection for us. Ophidiophobia. And on that path, I absolutely believe that my fear of snakes is a tool for my own self-preservation. Cynophobia could be an unfounded fear, or maybe you saw a run-in with an angry dog that was a catalyst to cynophobia. Astrophobia. Most storms aren't necessarily dangerous to us, but they certainly can be. You can understand some of the reasons for this fear, especially for someone who's been caught in a heavy rainstorm or a tornado or hurricane. Trianophobia is the fear of needles. I'll bet you or someone you know has talked about this one before. Then there's the whole group of social phobias. These can include fear of public speaking, meeting new people, going out in public, engaging in regular activities in the presence of others, and many other things. If you're interested in working with people with these challenges, maybe counseling psychology is the area for you. Maybe you'll be helping one of your colleagues with nomophobia, the fear of not having mobile phone access.
Our senses are interlinked with so many different areas in our lives, which is a big reason why there are so many people working on research in this particular area. Now imagine for a moment if you were missing one of your senses, what that would be like in your day. Do you feel like you might have missed any information just then? How do you think individuals work around these challenges if they're missing one of their senses or deficient in it? For example, people who are deaf or hard of hearing, a lot of them rely on lip reading and they learn how to do that with time. But with this day and age of COVID and a lot of people having to wear masks now, that has become a challenge that they will have to deal with because they can't rely on their skill of lip reading at this time. And so it's kind of interesting to think about that as you're working with people of different abilities, how those abilities might impact them in different ways that you wouldn't have thought of. Like, for example, what if you were missing your sense of smell? How could that impact you in your life? Sometimes our sense of smell alerts us to danger, like the smell of fire, and then we know there's a problem. Or maybe you can smell the brakes on your car and you know it's time to go get your brakes changed. But if you're missing that sense, you may miss out on some of those cues that are so important. And so there are many psychologists and counselors and different practitioners that will work with people and help them cope with these issues and come up with new ways to get the things done that they need to. Some fields that you might be interested in working in that are related to this are neuroscience, cognitive psychology, occupational therapy, etc., etc.
The things we've talked about today are just a small sample of all the many different areas that you can study and be involved in psychology. Our majors go on to be animal trainers, researchers, behavioral aides, bank workers, professors, teachers, law enforcement officers, lawyers, doctors, and the list goes on. Psychology is a great starting point for many graduate programs and also medical, legal, and other continuing education options. Take some time to really explore the many different options available to you as a psychology major. Check out apa.org or go to www.1tonline to explore some different career options. We are here to support and be an advocate for you throughout your time at USU. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out to one of us.
I'm Becca. If your last name starts with A through C, I'll be your advisor in psychology.
I'm Ben. If your last name starts with D through M, I'll be your advisor in psychology.
I'm Teresa Hatterley. If your last name starts with N through Z, I'll be your advisor in psychology. I look forward to working with you.